Georgia's poetry is really nice because to me it's very real. It's how people actually feel when it comes to love and feelings of desire. He talks about waiting in silence and whispering her name gently, birds radiating in the blossom and in his thoughts. So, it's not like in your face, but it's more refined, which I think is the way love really is.
It's just something, he just inspires a bunch of people in so many ways.
Artwork, poetry, inspiration, that's George for you.
Her beauty, thus is my heart, shall find her loveliness hereafter. I arrive to heaven, fall to hell and back. I whisper her name gently, as the birds blossom. Such as my thoughts, a conquest, tenderness of her lips, a dream, not worthy enough to gaze. Dare I speak, dare I bow, to wonder whom I am in this world, to turn the empty pages of my thoughts, or move afar to wait in silence. I've been writing poetry since high school. It started out to impress a girl. I believe her name was Angelica, I believe. It was one of my first poems I wrote. I believe it was called Best of Friends. I wrote it to her, and it's just something, after a while, I said, you know what, let me express more of my feelings. And it's just after that, I went to more people, I expressed my thoughts, and I started doing the poetry club. And then after that, I went to become published. The thing is that it comes from my mind. Sometimes I'm so afraid to speak out what I feel. For example, in the poem Love Attachment, that poem was based upon a girl that I saw in the bookstore. I glanced at her, I couldn't speak to her, but there was something about it. I could touch her, but I couldn't really physically touch her. So I wrote this poem about if I had that approach, if I could have just done it right there. But I was so scared, but yet still. The interesting thing about love is that you can see it and you can touch it mentally, but physically you cannot. And I couldn't do that. You can walk anywhere on the streets, any street you want, any place, inside the world or outside the world. And what makes this very interesting is that that's where it comes. It comes from the nature of how you feel. When is that part of it? I feel like whenever I walk down and I see something in my head comes up and tells me to write something about it. And from there on, that's how it is. It's like that feeling that I can't describe this feeling, but it's just something that makes me feel, get a pen, get a pencil, and start writing. Actually, the poems do come from my artwork. Whenever I take a picture of anything, I like to take that picture and the image. Sometimes I don't remember that image of the thing I want to write, so I could take a picture of it. It could be flowers, it could be a bee, anything I like. Take a picture of it and just write something about it. A lot of the work I do is from picture prompts. When I see a picture of a statue of a woman, I just want to talk about that statue and go beyond that, the marble of the doll, anything beyond it, and talk about everything else. Well, the interesting thing about me is that I'm a student with learning disabilities. I actually have a reading and learning problem. And before that, no one believed in me that I could achieve these levels. To go and read a thesaurus, to read different other artwork. And the thing is, this gives me a lot of people give me the confidence that if I can write this poetry and say, wow, you're just an amazing person like before, it amazes me how I came from a person who has a spelling level of a 5-year-old child or 5-year-old grader. And to write this kind of poetry, it gives me the confidence that I can succeed and to become a good writer in the future. Well, recently, actually, a couple weeks ago, I was actually published for one of my poems called Into the Waters, which this poem was about one girl that I was going out with, and she ended up breaking up with me as a friend. This poem was actually about the way her approach towards water, like the way I felt. It was like not a butterfly feeling in your stomach, but just the waves, the ocean itself in my stomach and in my mind. I have also been otherwise published in places in Chicago. I've been published. I'm actually also doing on Facebook and getting Facebook too. I'm also doing online poetry, and also my artwork has been phenomenal in different libraries and other places to sell, including Middlesex County College. I sold some of my artwork for scholarships. Again, I want to spread it. So my thing is I want to become a special ed teacher, and towards my English classes, I want these students to have the same opportunity I did. So I want them to go and write poetry about the way they feel. In addition, go to different cafes. We need to support these cafes. A lot of people don't come to these local places like Lucky's Cafe. We want people to go to these places. I'm not having any problems with Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, but it's the deal that these places gave me the opportunity and the chance to have my poetry be published. And I want these students, my future students, to understand that any poetry is accepted. It's the way you feel it gets accepted, no matter what happens.